Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Survivor After Show here at TheStreamTV. I'm your host, Jerri Manthey, and next to me is the biggest superfan I've ever seen in my life, the total Survivor nerd, Justin Walter, who I'm always so happy to be here with.
Thank you, Jerri. You're looking hot tonight.
Thanks.
Showing those legs.
I got dressed up this evening. So let's just jump right into this because I know there's all kinds of people talking on YouTube right now and on Twitter. And by the way, if you have any questions, send them to #SurvivorAS on Twitter or live chat with us on YouTube, which is actually what you were doing earlier.
Yes.
But let's jump right into this. I think this was a great episode that showed a lot of the old school versus new school way of playing the game, which you said last week was going to be a theme that was going on throughout the season. I think tonight really showed us that the old school way of playing is all about loyalty.
What's crazy is it's the whole dynamic of old school versus new school, but everyone on both tribes is talking all about personal connections. We have Spencer last week talking about how he's going to change his game and he's going to make friendships before looking at people as chess pieces. We have Cass tonight tearing up.
Crying. Cass, a human being.
She's human. And I give her credit. She's trying to play a different game, but it's both tribes independently are all talking about how it's about forming connections with people, not looking at people as chess pieces.
Which is a very old school way of playing. It's all about making the relationships and the friendships and working together and being honest and loyal. Those are all old school ways of playing.
But I think that even though they're going to play with all these connections, it's all going to come down to the new school mentality. And Jeff Varner is the perfect example of what we saw tonight, with him melding both and using it to his advantage.
We will definitely be seeing a lot of Jeff Varner this season. I can tell this episode was all about Jeff kicking the game into high speed. I mean, that's how we started off the episode, was basically with Jeff talking to Shireen and Spencer and letting them feel very comfortable about an alliance that he had no intention of keeping. He was going to stick with the old school folks.
I love that he said that he basically voted off Vetus as a wake-up call to the old school players, that he wants to work with them. He wanted to show them you got to play this game in a new school mentality. I thought it was brilliant. It was a great move. And even when he did it, he didn't get any backlash from the old school people.
None. Nobody was upset at all. And I think there was a lot of cracks that were revealed this evening. And then in those cracks were a lot of opportunities that people took advantage of. One of them was the argument between PG and Abby, which I thought was going to explode into some crazy hysterical fight. It was actually pretty mellow for Abby, I have to say.
It's interesting because, again, here we have Abby on her second chance trying to not be the Brazilian firecracker, but she's still going and causing drama. And like you said, the crack there that is the craziest thing is how Shireen last season was all about being on the bottom and being left out and being the sole person, and she got in on people making fun of Abby. She was sitting there laughing.
She joined the Mean Girls Club.
She joined the Mean Girls Club.
And Shireen was mean, get it?
Shireen was mean. And it's crazy, when you lived that on Survivor Worlds Apart, you would think that Shireen would, and she even promised Abby, I'll stick up for you, I'll be in your alliance.
It was too late.
And she didn't do it.
It was way too late. Like I said, I don't think that fight exploded as big as it could have. But it definitely gave Terry Dietz the opportunity to step in and reach Abby on the beach and have a conversation with her. And that's when their alliance formed.
And it's even like Spencer's. Spencer's all about, I need to form friendships and relationships. He clearly hasn't done that very well, that he would want to in 7 days. But he didn't even go out to Abby sitting alone on the beach. The fact that nobody went out there, it's just mind-boggling. And Terry was smart to go out there and smart to spend 2 hours with her and form a relationship and a friendship that could turn into an alliance, where you think, they probably all thought Abby's going to be voted off next. That, you know, they were like, let's just let her be the outcast. No, if you're in the majority of 5 versus 4, that 4 is going to pick up Abby. Like,
I think there was a huge lesson taught tonight, that when there is an outcast, it sometimes makes a lot more sense to go out there and suck them into your side. Because they're so vulnerable. It's a perfect opportunity. The second crack we saw tonight was when Andrew Savage shared the story of how he met his wife. They separated, they went their own ways, and she showed up at his house one day, and he started breaking down crying. It was like this really human, beautiful moment, and all the girls in the tribe were just crying their eyes out, including Cass, which we all were very, surprised by. She's a human.
We didn't see Tasha much tonight. We didn't see Sierra. We didn't see Monica. These new school girls, we didn't see a lot of them. We saw them crying tonight. That's about all we saw them tonight.
Yeah.
But it was such a touching moment. And Andrew is total old school.
Totally old school.
The epitome of old school. And I hope he can do what Jeff is doing. And when it comes time to play the game and strategize and make moves that are going to be tough, I hope he can flip the switch and play the new style of the game.
Because we also got to see Jeremy, who stormed off after Andrew shared his story. And my initial reaction really was that I thought maybe Jeremy was feeling that Andrew was now a threat.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, everyone is going to side with Andrew because he's shown this really soft, vulnerable side.
Yeah.
But then we find out that Jeremy is having a mental breakdown himself. He's like crying because his wife is pregnant.
I know.
And which just showed us that he has a very strong reason to win the $1 million.
And he said, yes, his wife is pregnant, but he's not telling anybody because he thinks that'll make people not want to bring him to the end because he'll have that story of, my wife is pregnant, I'm doing this for my new family, which
Maybe
is a beautiful story.
Maybe he should just keep quiet about the baby.
He's going to keep it quiet.
Yeah, which is going to be hard.
Which will be hard, but he can do it. And the one thing that was crazy, too, was Stephen Fishback, when they were all sitting there, where did Jeremy go? Immediately he jumps in saying, He's looking for
the
idols.
Yeah.
And giving Andrew Savage ammo to say Steven is playing too hard. Now, what's interesting, too, is I watched a lot of the pre-interviews before going into the show. Andrew Savage said he wanted Stephen Fishback out first. Stephen Fishback said he wanted Andrew Savage out first. Jeff Varner also said he wanted Spencer out first. So it's interesting to see what they said and who they wanted to be out first and see that trickle into the game.
Yeah, that is really interesting that they actually did go for the targets that they intended to go for.
Yeah.
Fishback, what is going on with you, dude? Seriously, one of the guys that sits around talking about strategic plays in Survivor. What are you doing? You're like totally destroying your game. I mean,
I think he's going to get lucky though with this swap coming up next week. He is going to get lucky, and some other people Spencer might be dodging a bullet because this swap is going to breathe life into players who probably know they're at the bottom. They're the ones who are going to make the move and do something next week.
I can't believe they're already going to swap into 3 tribes. So
2 tribes
it's a
to 3.
complete new game next week, which I can't wait to get to.
And this is what I was talking about, how CBS had 3 buffs on sale. And Jeff Probst said they're going to switch it up immediately in all his pregame interviews.
You did say that.
Yeah.
You totally
and it wasn't
did
a big
say that.
spoiler. We saw it in the preview. There we go.
Well, you know what? I want to cut really quick to our Skype-in guest this evening, Andy Dehnart. He is with Reality Blurred, and he's also a Survivor expert, just like Justin Walter.
Thank you.
And we love having him here every week to give us what he thinks is the moment of the week of this episode. Andy, are you with us?
I am. Hello, guys. How are you?
Yay!
Hi.
Hello. Well, I cannot wait to hear what you think the moment of the week was this episode.
I have to say, I mean, it was really tough to choose. There were so many great moments this week that it was just like moment after moment. I mean, Spencer crying right before Tribal Council about having to vote out his only friend. Like, that was devastating. Just great. I mean, I was personally touched. It was weird seeing him cry because we don't normally see that, but I
know, he seemed like a vulnerable little boy in that moment. It was really cute. It made me really like Spencer a lot.
And I can relate to him on the fact that he's been dreaming about this for his whole life and wants to be there. And then when you see it ripped out in front of you that quick for the second chances, he knew it was either him or Shireen. So it's like, I would be bawling my eyes out if I were out there. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy to see that he's going to be around next week because I want to see what happens when the mix happens.
Yeah.
See if he can pull it together.
That's great. I think he'll use that to his advantage, and it'll give him some new life, which is awesome because I like both him and Shireen, and I didn't want either of them to go, though I totally understand why they were targeted. So it makes sense at the same time.
Yeah, did you hear the rumor that if someone had found the idol this week, or the clue to the idol, that they were going to be hiding it at the challenge again? Like, what do you think about this new thing they're doing?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's much better than just basically drawing a big red arrow to it on the sand and saying, just come here and pick it up, or watch the camera operator, see where they point the camera, and then you'll know.
Yeah, or look for the unusual looking tree, which happens every single season.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was another moment for you this week? What'd you think?
Well, so I was going to initially choose my moment at Tribal Council, although I realized I gave Jeff Probst crap last week, but I really thought his comparison between what happened to Shireen last season and what happened to Abby this week was totally unfair. She was harassed by someone about her life and the fact that she was a survivor of domestic abuse. And then like Abby was kind of made fun of for being annoying. So I don't think that those two things are in any way equivalent, but I won't choose Jeff Probst because I already made fun of him last week. I just wanted to say that. My real moment is Andrew Savage reacting to Stephen Fishbach, like pointing out that Jeremy might be looking for the idol. And this is like, I agree that maybe Stephen wasn't the smartest to point that out first, if it indeed that was the first thing that he said. But what was hilarious was how that took Andrew on this, like, Stephen has no morals, no humanity, no empathy. He's like a waste of oxygen, and he shouldn't be on this beach eating our food. Like, he just tore him apart for like playing the game in the tiniest way.
Well, and if you remember last week when Stephen was out looking for the idol, and he actually was looking for the idol, everybody was talking about Stephen looking for the idol. So to me, tell me if you agree, I just think Stephen was target enemy, probably number 1 or 2 on that tribe, and that Andrew is out to get him and looking for everything he can to put the target on Stephen Fishbach.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. And I think that he was just looking for an opportunity. And, had Stephen blinked a little too long, he'd be like, look, he's closing his eyes and falling asleep in the middle of the game. And we should totally vote him out.
Wow, you know what? I have to say that as a viewer, I totally bit into that. I was like, yeah, he is so shallow. Like, why is he looking for the idol? I totally bit it. Thank you for giving me the true and, real insight into the reality show that we watch. Well, thank you, Andy, for joining us. We really love having you here every week, and we look forward to seeing you again next week with your moment of the week.
Yeah, and we'll definitely check out your recaps. They're really good. We love it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
I appreciate that.
All right, you guys, well, we're going to go to a commercial break. So before we do that, go ahead and push that little button down there in the corner and subscribe to TheStream.TV and join in on the chat. Send us your tweets at #SurvivorAS. We will see you back in a moment.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, this is for you.
I love it. That was freaking
How did you not figure it
I didn't see any of this coming. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah?
I was like,
How did you get here? No.
kill him, definitely kill him. We're cool. Shade. Shade left and right, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, let's put your 2 cents in.
Rubbed me the wrong way in the right way.
But you were like, well, we want to know what's going to happen.
That was cute.
We just want to say we love you all. Thank you so much for your support. You are all seriously the best in the world.
Another beautiful summer at TheStream.TV, y'all.
Here we go, guys.
Thank you for being here. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Survivor After Show here on TheStream.TV. I'm your host, Jerri Manthey, with Justin Walter here by my side.
Yes.
And we are going to now go through some of our favorite Twitter questions and comments for the evening. What do we got?
All right, so we got one. We got, if you don't change, history is destined to repeat itself. Jeff Probst said that. Sometimes people cry while looking for idols, and that's because, the whole Stephen Fishbach. We have majority rules. Remember you said that when you let your emotions make you lose again, woo.
What?
That was kind of a crazy tweet. Then Jeff Varner is turned on by Abby's moments. Let that sink in.
Yeah, let that sink in for sure.
And then Justin W. says, Survivor After Show, how are we supposed to survive not seeing Vetus's underwear tonight?
Oh, I think I survived just fine without that.
Do we have a picture? We had a picture of that, right? Do we have a picture of what it looked like?
Oh my gosh.
All right. You know what's crazy though, Jerry? What is crazy is we saw that last week.
No, put your pants back on.
Oh, look.
Oh my God.
Vetus, you got nice underwear. Should I just sit in my underwear the rest of the show?
Oh my God, put your pants back on.
There we go. Vetus underwear. They're from Me Undies.
This show.
And don't they look good?
You know what? They're very interesting underwear, but they're not something you should be wearing.
Very tribal, but actually they are the most comfortable underwear I own. MeUndies, I swear to God, they're so comfortable.
Did you have those before the show, or did you see
I got
them last
after
week?
I saw Venus. I
Oh
got
my
them.
God.
And you know what? If I were on Survivor, I would wear these because they're super comfortable.
Okay,
There we
whatever.
go.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm totally distracted from what I was going to say.
You're
Thank you,
distracted
Justin.
by my idol.
I am not looking at your idol. That was one of the best quotes of last week, for sure. Oh, wow. Okay, so speaking of playing in your underwear, let's go ahead and talk about the immunity challenge tonight.
All right.
We were both pretty disappointed that the clue was not found and the idol was hidden.
Entertainment Weekly posted a picture this week
And
saying,
a video.
Yeah, here's where the idol's going to be. But obviously nobody found the clue, so nobody was looking for it. So it was such a bummer. I really was hoping somebody got caught. Because that spot at the top of one of those peaks that they had to climb up during the immunity challenge, that would be so hard to grab it at.
Look at how excited you are right now.
I am, because it would have been so good to see someone go for it and get caught. I really hope someone gets caught finding an idol at a challenge.
I hope they keep doing that throughout this entire season. I would love to see more idols at the challenges. It'd be great. But this challenge, you know, the whole time I was watching it, I kept thinking to myself, ouch!
Yeah.
Those are like total splintered boards, and people were sliding down them in their underwear again. I don't understand this underwear thing. Like, wear shorts or a swimsuit, you guys.
Well,
like, I
they
don't get
showed
it.
up with the clothes that they wore from the finale. So nobody was wearing a swimsuit under their clothes when they went to the finale.
No, I didn't even put
when
that
they were on the
together.
boat in the premiere episode, they were in the same clothes they were in at
That's
the
right.
finale.
You are so right.
So,
But it
yeah.
looked like a very painful challenge. So basically, we run through the whole thing, and I'm calling it Jeff Varner's team because it really is Jeff Varner's team. At this point, I love you, Jeff. They lose. But we had a big controversy, and for you guys out there, I would love someone to post a picture of what the final puzzle looked like, because Justin and I are in agreement that we're not really sure that that was the winning combination of what the puzzle was supposed to look like.
Yeah, I want to go back on my DVR and watch, because he said it had to be a continuous pattern.
It was supposed to be connected.
To me, it looked like the pattern
Separate.
should have been the branches connecting in the middle and then the figures. But it went too fast. We watch it and we can't rewind, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, we're going to check it out.
I'm going to go
for
back
sure.
on my DVR. I thought the branches should have been connected and they should have flipped it. But Bion got the win again.
Yes. So they leave the challenge, and it looks almost certain that Spencer or Shireen are going to go home. And then Abby walks off with Shireen. And Justin and I are like, keep your mouth shut, Abby. Just keep your mouth shut. And what does she do? She reveals that everyone is gunning for her and Spencer.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was blown at that point. I thought something was going to get shook up. But I just don't think that there was any chance for Spencer or Shireen.
And even when we saw the moment between Jeff Varner and Kelly Wentworth, I thought that was another telling moment that, you know, what we saw of Kelly Wentworth tonight, and we saw less of her tonight than we did last week, was her hiding her idol, saying, I'm here for a second chance, I'm going to play the game hard and make big moves, and then telling Jeff Varner, I'm with you, I'll vote one of them out even though I don't want to. I'm going to go, and she even said in her confessional, I'm going to go with the wind on this one and go with the majority.
Right, and I hope to God no one finds her idol that she hid under a very shallow grave of leaves.
Yeah, so here's a question,
That
Jerri.
was pretty
Question
risky.
for you as someone who's been on the show 3 times. They go to this challenge, right? And Jeff says, we're going to split the tribes and go 3 tribes. Does she get to, she gets to go back to get her idol, right?
Oh my God, I don't know.
They can't expect her to carry it on her at all times. So does everybody gets to go back to their camp and get their belongings?
Usually not. It's straight back to wherever your
and
new
they
home
ship your
is.
belongings with you?
It changes every season. I don't know, but I can't imagine. Oh man, she may have just lost her idol.
They can't. I feel like they're gonna have to let her go get it. They have to.
Well, we will definitely find out. And you know, I have to say tonight, Wu earned my respect. When Shireen and Spencer approached him about joining their alliance, and he was like, you guys have never said 2 words to me this entire time. Like, forget it. I was so proud of him. Yeah, way to go, Wu. I didn't know you had it in you.
I love it. I love that Wu moment, and sometimes I'm hard on Wu because I want him to wake up and play the game. I love that flat out he was like, no. It was a great moment. And what even was good too is like, I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. If I were on Survivor, I would talk to everybody within 48 hours. The fact that after 7 days he's saying, you haven't come and talked to me since we've been here?
Yeah, that's not a very good strategy.
That's terrible. What are you doing, even if they're not in your alliance?
Yeah.
Hey.
Especially if they're not in your alliance. You should definitely talk
What do you
to
like doing
everybody.
back at home? What do you eat? What's your favorite food? Just make up conversation.
Yeah.
And I can't understand how Spencer and Shireen wouldn't talk to him. And even Spencer being on his past season.
Yeah, especially the master
it.
strategists they are. They should have known better.
Get it.
But good on you, Woo. So Tribal Council tonight was very much like therapy. And, you know, this season so far has taught us all that sometimes a second chance just isn't enough. You're going to repeat the same mistakes again.
Yeah.
And that was basically what the entire Tribal Council was about tonight, was, you know, showing Shireen that she basically was in the opposite situation that she was in the last season.
Yeah.
She was the mean girl picking on Abby.
Yeah.
And I love that Jeff Varner owned Tribal Council again, and we know that last week we didn't get to see a lot of footage from Tribal Council, which I'm really confused why we didn't get to see it. But Jeff, man, I am so proud of you. Seriously.
Do you think Spencer made the plea tonight, you know, guys, if I have the opportunity to stay in the game, I'm really going to put alliances to the side and really just be here to form friendships? Smart politician to say that. But really, I don't buy it.
I'm actually surprised that they got rid of Shireen instead of Spencer, especially after what you told me, which was Jeff Varner was gunning for Spencer at the very beginning of this season.
My guess is in a challenge, you want Spencer over Shireen. And that's what I would guess, that they think that they might be in the same tribes for longer than they expected. Whereas if they would have known a swap is coming, I bet Spencer would have been gone.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see once they switch it up into 3 if he's going to follow through with his promise to kind of stay true to those people.
And we've gotten to see and learn so much more about that tribe dynamic. Really, the only players that we're getting to know on the other side are Cass, Andrew Savage, Jeremy, and Steven. Everybody else is kind of, we're not hearing from Tasha, Monica,
or Sierra
and other players. So I'm interested to finally get some more development of these other players, where their heads at, who they want to make alliances, who they want to go after. So I'm excited about the swap and see what happens next week.
Yeah, next week, you guys, 2 tribes get split into 3, and I cannot wait to see what happens.
And that's never happened. This is a first in Survivor. This is the perfect season to do it, where you want to throw them off their game and get people all riled up. And I really think this season is going to be all about adjusting your strategy every 3 days.
Exactly. Adjust, adjust, adjust. Be adaptable.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on TheStream.tv. And I know we're going to give out some shout-outs. I have a list because there's so many of you awesome people out there that we want to make sure to mention. Reality Blurred, of course, with Andy Dehnart. AllAboutTheT.com, Reality TV World, Survivor Fandom, Survivor Whispers, and Survivor Wiki. So hi to all of you, and thank you for supporting us and posting our show on your websites and chat rooms and all that good stuff. And we look forward to seeing what happens next week. Thank you so much for joining us, Justin. Thank you for making it fun as usual.
I love doing this with you, and even a Survivor Reddit group's going to interview you coming up too, which is awesome. We're excited about that.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for joining us.